Have you ever wondered how much a single meeting with Leonardo DiCaprio really costs? 100 million? That was just a tip. His entrance fee. $4.5 billion stolen. A national fund bled dry. And the world's most wanted man is still a ghost. $1,998. London. To understand the heist, you have to understand the school. Joe Low didn't go to Harrow to study. He went there to hunt. He was born in Penang, Malaysia, into a family that was already rich. His father, Larry Low, was a powerful businessman. But for Joe, rich wasn't enough. He wanted power. At Harrow, he wasn't just a student. He was a master of deception. To impress the heirs of global dynasties, he rented luxury villas and private jets using his family's money, pretending he was a prince himself. His biggest catch wasn't a prince. It was Riza Aziz, the stepson of Malaysia's future prime minister. Through Riza, Joe got to the heart of power. He became the trusted advisor to the most powerful family in the country. He knew their weakness. Greed. They wanted a lavish lifestyle, and Joe knew how to get the money. He didn't need a crown. He just needed to control the one who wore it. 2009. The Prime Minister creates a national fund, 1MDB. To the world, it was an investment in the future. Low built an image of an incredibly wealthy investor, backed by Middle Eastern royal families. He organized meetings between Najib and various princes and sheikhs, many of whom he brought in himself. The Prime Minister truly believed that Joe was a bridge to endless Arab money. In reality, Low was simply using these connections to convince the government to create the 1MDB fund. This gave him full access to state resources through Najib. Without holding any official position, Joe Low knew he couldn't just steal money directly from the budget. He needed a beautiful cover story. He convinced the 1MDB fund to enter into a joint venture with a company called Petro Saudi International. His legend was simple. This was supposedly a firm owned by the son of the King of Saudi Arabia. 1MDB was to invest $1 billion in cash, while Petro Saudi contributed its oil assets in Turkmenistan and Argentina. But in fact, Petro Saudi had no such assets, or they were worth next to nothing. It was a classic shell game. When it came time to transfer the billion, Joe Low told the 1MDB board that Petro Saudi owed $700 million to his company, Good Star, and suggested sending the funds directly to settle the debt. The board, already influenced by the Prime Minister, asked no questions. $300 million went to the official venture account, while $700 million flew straight to the Good Star account in a Swiss bank. Who was Good Star? This was the turning point of the scam. Low registered Good Star Limited in the Seychelles. In bank documents, he claimed the company belonged to Petro Saudi, but in reality, the sole beneficiary was Joe Low himself. At that moment, a 27-year-old guy from Malaysia became the owner of a $700 million fortune of state money in a single day. To keep the scheme from being exposed, Low began showering those who might ask questions with cash. Part of the money went to the accounts of the Prime Minister's stepson, Riza Aziz, so he could start building his film empire in Hollywood. Massive sums were spent on gifts for Rasma Mansour, the Prime Minister's wife, so she would keep whispering in her husband's ear about what a great guy Joe was. Najib Razak himself began receiving donations into his political accounts to help him win elections. From this point on, Joe Low began his legendary life in Las Vegas and Saint-Tropez. He started spending the stolen millions as if they were infinite, booking entire floors in hotels, buying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Cristal champagne, and striking up friendships with stars like Leonardo DiCaprio. With hundreds of millions in his pockets, Joe Low decided to conquer Hollywood. He didn't just want to be rich, he wanted to be the ultimate VIP. Lowe provided the funding for the movie The Wolf of Wall Street through Red Granite Pictures, a company co-founded by the Prime Minister's stepson.
It was the ultimate irony. A movie about a massive financial fraud was actually being paid for with stolen government money. Lowe was even thanked in the film's credits. But his spending didn't stop there.
Joe Lowe became the biggest whale Las Vegas had ever seen. For his 31st birthday, he threw a party that cost millions of dollars.
He built a giant tent on a 5-acre lot with an indoor Ferris wheel and a bar carved from solid ice. To top it off, he paid Britney Spears a 6-figure sum just to pop out of a giant birthday cake and sing happy birthday to him. Stars like Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West were all there. Many of them reportedly paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just to attend his events. Lowe was also buying friends with legendary gifts. He gave DiCaprio a $9 million Basquiat painting and Marlon Brando's $100,000 Oscar statue. For supermodel Miranda Kerr, he bought $8 million worth of diamonds. To the world, he looked like a brilliant billionaire investor. But by 2015, the fantasy began to crumble. The FBI and the Department of Justice started noticing a massive trail of laundered money flowing into U.S. real estate and art. At the same time, the 1MDB fund missed a major debt payment, sparking a global investigation. Investigators soon realized that billions of dollars were missing, and all roads led back to one man, Joe Lowe. By 2016, the 1MDB scandal had exploded into the world's largest kleptocracy investigation. The U.S. Department of Justice filed lawsuits to seize over $1 billion in assets, including the very film rights to The Wolf of Wall Street. Back in Malaysia, the people had had enough. In 2018, for the first time in history, the ruling party was ousted in a historic election. The downfall of Prime Minister Najib Razak was swift and shocking. During a raid on his properties, police discovered over $270 million worth of cash, jewelry, and luxury handbags. It was the largest seizure in Malaysian history. In 2020, Najib was sentenced to 12 years in prison. But the legal battle didn't stop there. By December 2025, he was sentenced to an additional 15 years for further corruption charges related to the fund. Today, in May 2016, Najib remains behind bars in Kajang prison, having recently withdrawn his final appeal for house arrest. But what about the mastermind, Joe Lowe? While his associates fell, Lowe vanished. He was last reportedly seen in Shanghai and Macau. Investigators believe he is living under the protection of powerful figures in China. Using a forged Australian passport under the name Constantinos Achilles Vase. Despite being one of the world's most wanted men, he remains a ghost, occasionally releasing defiant statements through his lawyers. As of today, Malaysia has recovered over $7 billion of the stolen money, including high-value artworks by Picasso and Monet, returned just this month. But the hunt for Joe Lowe continues. He remains the ultimate billion-dollar whale, a man who fooled the world, stole a nation's future, and managed to disappear into thin air.